Hello friends, Intuitive Rene here, bringing you Taroscopes for the month of August 2022. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you are used to my channel and familiar with Taroscopes, I do hope that you enjoy your reading. You can skip this intro and you can go straight into the reading. But if this is the first time that you are doing Taroscopes with me, welcome. Just to give you a little bit of information as to how the Taroscopes work, I record 12 separate individual readings for each sign of the zodiac, starting at Aries and going all the way through to Pisces and covering everybody in between. I then, in that particular reading, I'm connecting with the collective energy of that particular zodiac sign. I set the intention that it be applicable for sun, moon, or rising. So if you are an astrology nerd and you like all that information, you can obviously watch for your other signs as well. The intention behind these particular readings is just to give you insight into the month ahead, insight into, in this particular case, the month of August, to help you understand the energies that are going to be coming through, the circumstances that you may be dealing with, the situations that you may need to navigate, because obviously forewarned is forearmed. So if you know what's coming up, if you know the kind of energies, you know whether it's a good time to make big decisions or whether it's not, help you understand yourself a little bit more so that you can not waste unnecessary time and just get on and deal with the things that are important for the month ahead. The videos stay up all month long. Well, actually, they stay up all the time. So you can come back at any point during the month or even after the month, because it's quite nice to, after the month in question, to go back and look at the video to sort of connect the dots, if I can put it that way. I have quite a few people who do that, and then they message me and they say, wow, in retrospect, it's actually quite clear as to the things that transpired and happened. So I record one intro. So every single sign of the zodiac gets this one intro, just to save myself repeating and talking about, the same things 12 times. And then I'm going to flip the camera around so that you don't get to see the face, you get to see the hands only, and then we're going to do the reading. This month I'm changing things up. I do that from time to time. So if you like things to stay constant, this is probably not the place you want to be. I like to change things up because I just feel like, a change is as good as a holiday, but I also feel like changing it up every now and again just keeps it fresh. Okay. And that's what I'm all about, is keeping things fresh, keeping things in exciting and motivating and enthusiastic. So I am going to be working with quite a few decks in this particular month's session. So I'm not going to bore you now and go through all the decks. What I will do is put it into the description below. So if you are interested or curious about any of the decks that I've used, please do check out the description of this particular video. I'll have all of that information listed there for you. And to help you navigate and jump around between the different zodiac signs. So in other words, if you're watching your sign now and you want to go and watch a partner or a child or somebody else's, or you want to go and look at your moon sign or your rising sign, I will have the links to all of the other zodiac signs in the description box of this video as well. So if you read underneath, you will have all the information that you're looking for. I want to get straight into the reading. And please, if you haven't already done so, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. Click the bell as well if you enjoy the content that I put out for you. Click the bell so that you get the notification as soon as there's new content. I release content on a Sunday. I release a week ahead detailed reading that covers a lot of information. And then typically on a Thursday, I release some kind of inspirational reading for you, whether it be a pick a card reading, whether it be taroscopes, or whether it be just other inspiration from spirit that comes through. So if you do enjoy my content and enjoy this type of content, please do hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoy your particular zodiac reading, show some love and give the video a like and comment below as well. Remember, the more you engage and interact with the video, the more you are supporting me and the channel and the work that I do. So if you want to keep me coming back, show me some love. I'm going to flip the camera around and let's get into your reading. Capricorn, hello and welcome. Welcome to your August 2022 Taroscopes. As you can see, I have shuffled and laid out all the cards that we're going to be working with this month. And as you can see, there is a lot. We have a lot to cover and looking at, I've just had a quick glance at the cards as I was dealing them out, as I was placing them on the table. But it looks like we're in for, like, how can I say, Capricorn? August is going to be complex, simple, exciting, and scary all at the same time. How's that for an opening statement? You know what, Capricorn, you're going to have to be with me through this, because when I look at everything that I have on the table here, it certainly looks like there's some stuff that needs to be worked through. There's some stuff that needs to be resolved, understood, put in its place, if I can put it that way. And yet it's going to be scary. It's going to be almost frightening for you to go through this process to do it. But it is absolutely necessary. I can also tell you that this is something that's been sort of hanging in the balance for some time with you, okay? This is something that you've known for a while, that you've needed to do. You have that inkling, you have that feeling, you have that kind of, idea of it needs to be done, but we never actually get around to doing it. Because we're afraid, because of fear, because we don't like hurting people, because we don't like causing trouble, we don't like stirring the pot. And, Capricorn, understanding your character traits, if I can put it that way, the kind of people that you are, you're kind, you're generous, you're nurturing, you're, all of those kind of good qualities. You don't really have a nasty bone in your body. You like to think that you are, able to stand up for yourself, and you probably are. But in a lot of instances, when it comes to you personally, it's easier to let people take advantage of you. It's easier to let people walk all over you than to stand up for yourself. And what comes through so strongly here, it sits right in the middle. I'm gonna address that just now, okay? But that's not what we're talking about for now. What we're talking about here is this fact that you are kind and generous and considerate and caring and nurturing and all of these kind of amazing good qualities, and you don't like to hurt a person, betray a person, or whatever. But sometimes we have to. Sometimes it's important that we stand up for ourselves, stand up to those who are nearest and dearest to us, stand up to those people who you normally allow to walk all over you. So Capricorn, August looks like a time of shifting and changing, not only for you, but I'm thinking about all the other taroscopes that I've already recorded, and it seems to be a common thread for everybody, okay? It seems to be a common thread that's coming through quite strongly. So here you sit in the middle, and I'm going to tell you that this card in the middle is the only one that has significance in this particular reading. I'm laying out the cards, I'm filling up all the available space, and I'm just allowing the cards to give the story. There's no structure to this month's session or this month's reading. I'm going to go there for a second. There is your affirmation for the month, and it says, I am blessed. And I had to smile when I laid that card down, because to me, when I see the other stuff that's going on, that just makes so much more sense. Because when you're having to face your deepest, darkest fears, when you're having to stand up for yourself, stand up against somebody you love, admire, respect, it's not easy. It's not easy to be that person, and it goes against your character. It goes against who you are. It goes against what you stand for. So when you're finding yourself feeling out of sorts, out of place, when you find yourself struggling to do something that is clearly necessary, keep reminding yourself, I am blessed. So all you do is just close your eyes and just repeat it to yourself 3 times, but say it with conviction. Say it like you mean it. Say it like it actually references something in your life. I am blessed. I am blessed. I am blessed. It may feel a bit silly. It may look a little bit silly. You may sound a little bit silly, but you're going to have all of this internal kind of conversations going on saying, who are you fooling? Who are you? You're not going to believe it. But if you do it a couple of times a day, every day, you will soon start realizing how blessed you truly are. So Capricorn, I'm not going to lie to you and pretend that August is going to be fabulous. I'm certainly not going to do that. There are going to be aspects to August which are going to be fabulous, absolutely. But there is a lot of work that needs to be done. There's a lot of things that you need to handle, that you need to take care of, which are not going to be fun. All right, let's go here. Okay, let's go and address your addictions. This is certainly not not a saying and accusing you of being an alcoholic, a drug addict, a whatever. Okay, that's absolutely not what address your addictions is implying. Of course, if you do happen to have those challenges in your life, then obviously pay attention to that and make sure that you're on the right path. Make sure that you are doing whatever you need to do to maintain your sobriety or whatever it is. But the addictions that we're referring to here is the addictions of making other people happy, the addictions of pleasing other people. Because I do think I'm going to use the term again, and it's a very broad spectrum term, but your character trait is one of pleasing people, doing for others. And it is an addiction in that we often sabotage our own selves, neglect our own selves in order to help other people. And it looks like for the month of August, we need to shift that focus. We need to shift that focus from being that kind of person to being somebody different, somebody else, to being just a better version of yourself. That seems to be the important thing for the month of August. Okay, so we've got to address your addictions. Address your addictions means be mindful of the things that you're doing and why you're doing them. Be mindful of the things that you're doing repeatedly, almost impulsively, obsessively, okay? And it doesn't only have to refer to drugs and alcohol. As I said, your addictions here are about your people pleasing, the serving, guiding, and being supportive to other people. Just be aware, just address it, just be aware of it, and ask yourself, is this really necessary? Is this behavior really appropriate, really necessary, or am I taking it just a little bit too far? We get that, what I see here for you, Capricorn, is that 2022 so far has been a tough year. It certainly hasn't been a walk in the park. It certainly hasn't been easy, and you're feeling the weight of it right now. So August is not, as I said, it's not going to be a walk in the park. There's definitely this feeling of the weight of the world on your shoulders, but it's also a case of realizing you can't actually carry this any longer. You can't actually carry this burden. You actually don't want to carry this burden any longer. It brings us back to the addressing your addictions, because this is Spirit saying to you, Capricorn, it's time for you to be honest with yourself first and foremost. The things that you're doing, the people you're doing it for, the people you're doing it with, how relevant and appropriate is that? Is there a better way of serving these people? Is there a better way of doing what you're doing? Can you be doing anything a little bit differently so that you're not carrying the burdens of others? Okay, it's quite important. I love this oracle card that I have for you here that says openness. And here we have a full moon. Full moon is when the shadows are mostly illuminated. It's when the shadows are less shadowy. And it's when everything is open, when the truth is revealed, where there is openness amongst everybody. And Capricorn, this is something that you have to really work on during the month of August, is about being more open, more honest, more expressive around yourself and what it is that you do that actually doesn't serve you. How much of your day, how much of your life is actually other people's stuff that you are processing, that you are navigating, that you are handling, that you shouldn't have to be. Okay, so it's about, number one, being open with yourself first, because you cannot express and talk to anybody else and release and reveal and be open about what you're feeling to anybody else if you haven't first admitted to yourself. So openness to you first, to yourself first, before we start tackling anything or anyone external. Keep reminding yourself that you are blessed. That you are blessed. You are blessed because you can do what you've been doing, that you have coped and managed as best as you absolutely can. And I think you've actually done pretty well. It might not always feel like it, but it certainly looks that way. Okay, bringing us to this card over here. And what we have over there is the Morning Dew Girl. Now, let me tell you how fabulous she is. So her job, her duty, her function is every morning while everybody else is still tucked up in their beds, while everybody else is still comfy and fast asleep and all cozy in their beds, she goes out into the garden. She has a basket of leaves that she's created for herself, and she goes to all the flowers and all the leaves and she collects the morning dew. Why? Because the morning dew is going to make everybody uncomfortable. The morning dew is going to make everybody cold and wet. And she wants to help them. She wants to support them. She wants to guide them. So the morning dew girl, like I said, while everybody is still tucked into their beds, her function is to go out and to remove the worries, the troubles, the concerns, the fears, the insecurities, the doubts, the raindrops, okay, the dewdrops, I should say. That's her function. That's her job. Now, she does that willingly every single morning. Do other people even notice? Maybe. Do they say anything? No. Do they appreciate her? Sometimes. But does it stop her? Not at all. And I'm going to tell you, Capricorn, that she is you. You are that person who just quietly, religiously, regularly gets on and does the things that you think are important for everybody else. But nobody's paying any attention. Nobody's noticing. Nobody's acknowledging sacrifices that you're making. And this is why the month of August is time for you to stand up, to express yourself, to be open, to deal with the things that you are doing and to question, is it actually relevant, appropriate, and is it something that I want to be doing? If it is, we're going to speak about it. We're going to express it. We're going to let everybody know, so that not that we're complaining, not that we're ungrateful, but just so that there is an understanding of what is your function and duty and what is somebody else's, so that people don't take advantage of you. So, morning dew girl, remind yourself constantly that that is who you are. You are blessed to be able to do that job. You are blessed that you enjoy doing it, that you're capable of doing it, but you've got to just check. Are you doing it out of obligation, or are you doing it because it makes you feel good? I want to then look at our next card over here, and this is the card of clarity. And isn't that what we're talking about? This message that we've given so far, everything that's come through so far, is all about clarity. And there is this tendency as well, Capricorn, especially now during the month of August, where you feel like you're the only one collecting the morning dew, where you feel like you're the only one putting in the effort. You're the only one, and this could be in a personal relationship, this could be in a work environment, but there's this feeling of being the only one who, and everybody else is warm and cozy tucked in their bed, and you're the one out there collecting the morning dew. So clarity comes along and says, let's make sure before we do anything drastic, before we make any kind of sudden moves, let's gain some clarity on who we are, what we're doing, why we're doing it, how often is necessary, who should be helping you, etc., etc., etc. There is a little text in the bottom of the card. Let me read it to you, because there's no ways you're going to see that on camera. It says to you, clearing your mind. Let me carry on. Clearing your mind brings you closer to your sacred inner wisdom. And that's exactly what we're doing. By being open, by being honest, by being truthful, by understanding how blessed you are, by recognizing the duties that you feel obligated to perform on a daily basis. Acknowledging that is how we gain clarity on what our true purpose is, what our true meaning of life is, and what it is that we want to do versus what it is that we are doing. Okay, so I am looking now at all the cards that are surrounding the card that represents you, which is this one in the middle here. And Capricorn, a couple of things are really jumping out at me. We have this card on the side here that talks about addressing your addictions, and I have highlighted and spoken about that to you. But we have that same card depicted in a tarot card over here as well, which is the card of the devil. The devil is the card of temptation, of obsessions, of addictions. The devil is the card of making us think more than is necessary, making us do more than is necessary, making us feel more than is necessary. So again, it makes sense that this card has come straight below the card that depicts you or that shows you, because it is something that is weighing heavy on you. There we get it again, weighing heavy on you. And there's this fear within you that if you don't do, live, experience, etc., the things that you are, that maybe nobody would love you, that maybe nobody would care about you, that maybe you would be left out in the cold. So I want to say to you, in the month of August, it's important that we redirect our focus, that we understand that a small act that we do on one day has a ripple effect on all the other days that are coming. And it's not about being defiant. It's not about being aggressive. It's not about just saying no to everybody. That's not at all what Spirit are asking. What Spirit are asking you is to just address the addictions, the compulsions, the obsessions, the things that you do without thought for other people, and ask yourself, am I doing more than? Because more than seems to be your key phrase for the month of August. Understand that you are blessed. Keep reminding yourself of that. You are not obligated. You are not under any pressure. You are blessed. You are wonderful. You are amazing. You are kind. You are nurturing. You are thoughtful, considerate. You are all of those things. But is that more than is necessary? When it comes to, and I'm looking at those 3 cards across the top, when it comes to your interactions and relationships with other people. So I'm not specifically referencing personal romantic relationships, although it could very well be going there. If you're not in a relationship, then this is talking about just a significant relationship that you have with another individual. There seems to be a shift of energy taking place, and I'm going to put it down to you standing up for yourself. The shift in this relationship, the shift in the significant relationship with somebody, the shift is happening because you're open to expressing yourself, to revealing more about yourself, to gaining clarity on the understanding of the love, the emotion, the connection. We're not doing things because we're obligated. We're doing things because we want to, and because it makes us happy. So there is progress. There is a shift taking place in this relationship, which is going to bring you closer together, which is going to bring you the satisfaction and the happiness that you're looking for, the excitement and the passion that you're looking for. But again, this cannot happen if you don't start expressing yourself, being more open, being more vulnerable, and just making sure that the things that you do are relevant, significant, and appropriate, and not just because it's a habit. Okay. I'm also going to say to you over here that you must understand that it's very easy to get trapped or caught up between 2 differing opinions. And I think, Capricorn, this is where you struggle the most, is when you're in the middle of 2 conflicting opinions or 2 conflicting situations or circumstances. Picking a side is something that you don't want to be doing, and it's something that you really struggle with. So what happens is you end up being caught in the middle, and that's where you start suffering. And again, we're going to not allow ourselves to get into those situations. We're not going to allow ourselves to suffer that kind of outcomes during the month of August, because we're going to stand up for ourselves, because we are blessed and we are deserving of a happier, simpler, more effective life. I love the way it comes through. All right. You know, there is a tendency, again, with Capricorn energies, there's a tendency to rush in without too much thought, without too much thinking, without too much strategy. And I see that quite a lot in the tarot that's come through here for you. So we do need to make sure that we're slowing ourselves down. We do need to make sure that we are mindful of our actions, our activities, and the things that we're involved in. We do need to make sure that we are conscious of our actions and our decisions and our movements, and that it is all relating to the things that are, I want to say, more in line with your own personal goals. So to wrap it all up, August looks like it's going to be complicated, yet awfully simple. It'll only be complicated because it's you climbing out of your comfort zone and starting to do things a little bit differently. It's going to be simple because actually this is how it should be for you. You have had, because of the year that we've had, because of the couple of years that you've had, you're carrying a lot of excess baggage, emotional, mental, spiritual baggage. And it's time now for you to start being more open, to start being more expressive around what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And don't feel bad for saying no to a person. Don't feel bad to turn around to somebody and say, actually, I can't be that person for you anymore. Don't feel bad for doing that. And I think when you do it the first time, you're going to see how easy it is. You're going to see how effective it is, because you are in a very, very good period in your life at the moment, but it's up to you as to how you handle it. Are you going to stand up for yourself, or are you going to continue carrying the burdens and the weights and the addictions of other people? So Capricorn, get the clarity that you need. Understand that you are always the person who is taking care of others, nurturing, laying foundations, doing all the good stuff for other people. And it's wonderful that you do that. But you've got to just ask, is that your plan? Is that your end game? Is that the goal? Is that serving your higher purpose? Is that serving your life purpose? And if it isn't, speak up for yourself, stand up for yourself, and tell everybody, you know what, we need to find a happy medium between what I need, what you need, my needs, wants, and desires, your needs, wants, and desires. It's time for you, Capricorn, to put you first. And on that note, thank you for being with me. I hope you have an amazing month of August with love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care.